The first time Adrian Holt kissed me, the world stopped. The second time, he promised forever. The third time, he forgot me. And not in the busy billionaire, wrong priorities kind of way. No, he literally looked into my eyes, tilted his head and said, "Sorry, do I know you?" Like I was a stranger. Like I hadn't spent years being the woman behind his empire, behind his secrets, behind his every damn smile. That's when I learned the truth. Adrian Holt was more than a billionaire, more than the man I loved. He was hiding something darker, something that erased me from his mind completely. But if he thought he could erase us, he didn't know me at all, because I wasn't just going to remind him who I was. I was going to make him fall again. And this time, I'd be the one holding all the power. Hey dreamers, welcome back to Blessing's Storyverse, where we don't just tell stories, we live them. Today's tale is full of mystery love twists. So grab your popcorn and let's dive into another episode. The Stranger in His Eyes. The gala was everything I remembered about Adrian. Holt's world-glittering chandeliers, champagne towers, men in tailored suits, and women who looked like they'd been carved by diamonds. And him, always him. He stood at the center of the room, charming investors with that easy smile that once belonged only to me. My heart should have hardened by now, but it still betrayed me with a stutter. I waited until his eyes landed on mine. I braced for recognition, for a flicker of something, anything. Instead, Adrian blinked once, twice, and then his brows knit together. "I'm sorry," he said, voice smooth but distant. "Have we met?" My nails dug into the clutch in my hand. Have we met? God, I wanted to scream. I wanted to shake him until every memory came flooding back. Instead, I smiled sweet, sharp, lethal. "Not formally," I lied. "But we will." All night, I stayed in his orbit, reminding myself that this wasn't about heartbreak anymore. This was about revenge. If Adrian Holt had erased me, I'd rewrite myself into his story until he couldn't breathe without me. But then, just as I was slipping out of the gala, I overheard two men in black whispering near the exit. "The boss doesn't remember her." That's the point. She's not supposed to exist to him anymore. My blood ran cold. What did they mean? Not supposed to exist? Before I could step closer, one of them turned, and his eyes locked on mine. And just like that, I knew. I wasn't invisible. I was a target. Forgotten on purpose. I didn't sleep that night. The words kept looping in my head like a broken record. She's not supposed to exist to him anymore. By morning, paranoia had a name: Adrian Holt's empire. If he didn't remember me, maybe it wasn't an accident. Maybe it was. Engineered. So, I did what any woman with both a bruised heart and a burning vendetta would do. I showed up at his company. "Ms." The receptionist glanced up at me with polished disinterest. "Lena," I said smoothly, giving her my brightest, most harmless smile. "Adrian's expecting me." It was a gamble. But apparently, the universe loved gamblers. Because 10 minutes later, I was being ushered into the lion's den. His office was all glass and skyline, power stitched into every corner. And there he was, Adrian, leaning against his desk, sleeves rolled up, looking like temptation in human form. "Miss Lena, right?" He extended his hand. I ignored it. "You really don't remember me, do you?" His brow furrowed. "Should I?" I swallowed the ache. "Focus, Lena." "Maybe not," I said. "But I remember you." He laughed low, disarming, infuriating. "Then you're one up on me." I wanted to hate him, but then his phone buzzed on the desk. He glanced at it, and for a split second, something shifted in his expression: fear. "Excuse me." Adrian turned his back and lowered his voice. I caught fragments. "She's here." "No, she doesn't know." "Keep it quiet." My stomach knotted. She doesn't. No. I was the she. He hung up and turned back to me, smile restored, like nothing had cracked. So, he said casually, what is it you want from me? I opened my mouth to answer, but the office door slammed open. 2 men in black suits walked in, the same ones from the gala, the same ones who whispered about me not existing. And this time, they weren't whispering. They were here for me. The ghost file. The suits flanked the doorway like shadows come to life. Miss Lena, one of them said smoothly, you'll need to come with us. I froze. Excuse me? Orders, the other replied. His tone was polite, but his eyes were sharp enough to cut glass. Adrian stepped in between us, voice low, controlled. That won't be necessary. The first man didn't even blink. With respect, Mr. Holt, it is. My pulse thundered. I wasn't about to play the damsel. If you think I'm walking out of here with 2 strangers who don't even introduce themselves, you're out of your minds. Adrian glanced at me just for a moment and I caught it. A flicker of something. Guilt. He knew them. Fine, he muttered, jaw tight. But if she goes, I go. The men exchanged a look. One pulled out a sleek black folder and slid it across Adrian's desk. Read this first. I shouldn't have looked. But curiosity, it's my biggest flaw. I grabbed the folder before Adrian could stop me and flipped it open. My own face stared back at me, but the name printed underneath wasn't Lena. It was a different name entirely. And worse, the file said deceased. The room spun. What? What the hell is this? I whispered. Adrian closed the folder with a sharp snap. His voice harder than I'd ever heard it. She wasn't supposed to see that. I stumbled back, eyes darting between them. Am I a ghost to you people? Why does this say I'm dead? Adrian's silence was louder than any answer. And then the man in black leaned in, his breath chilling against my ear. Because, Miss Lena, you're not who you think you are. Truth in shadows. My throat went dry. Not who I think I am. What the hell does that mean? Adrian's jaw flexed, but he stayed maddeningly silent. The men in black didn't blink either, like I'd just asked the weather forecast. Answer me, I snapped, slamming the folder against the desk. My voice cracked, but my anger held steady. Finally, Adrian spoke. Lena, I was going to tell you. Just not like this. My chest squeezed. Tell me what, Adrian? He exhaled slowly, as if dragging oxygen out of thin air. The life you've been living, it's borrowed. I laughed, sharp and bitter. Borrowed? What am I, a library book? His eyes softened, guilt flickering across his face. You survived something you weren't supposed to. And to keep you safe, I made sure the world thought you were gone. The words slammed into me like bricks. My mind scrambled to connect the dots. Safe from what? Safe from who? The man with the folder leaned forward. Mr. Holt, you're wasting time. Protocol is clear. He turned to me. Your file was sealed for a reason. There are people looking for you, miss. He stopped himself, lips curling. Or should I say, by your real name? My stomach dropped. My real name? Adrian's voice was barely a whisper. Don't. But the man smiled. He wanted me broken. Your name isn't Lena. He slid a single photograph across the table. And when I saw the girl in it, her face identical to mine. Only colder, sharper, I felt the ground rip out beneath me. Because the caption underneath didn't just have a name. It had a title. And the title read, Classified Daughter of the Enemy. Enemy's daughter. My pulse roared in my ears. Daughter of the enemy. The words might as well have been carved into my skin. I shoved the photo back across the table. This is a mistake. Some kind of sick game. But Adrian wouldn't meet my eyes. His silence was worse than a confession. "Say something," I demanded. He finally looked at me, eyes heavy, jaw tight. "Lena, that's not even your name." They didn't lie. My legs went weak. I gripped the edge of the desk to stay upright. "You knew? All this time? You've been smiling in my face, protecting me, while what? Knowing I'm her." Adrian ran a hand through his hair. "I wasn't protecting you because of who you were. I was protecting you because of who you became. Lena Holt, the woman I met, the woman I..." He cut himself off, chest heaving. My stomach twisted. "The woman you what?" The man in black interrupted, his tone sharp and cold. "Enough. The truth doesn't care about your romance. Miss Vera, you were never meant to live a quiet life. Your father..." "Don't," Adrian snapped, stepping forward. But it was too late. The name landed like a grenade. "Your father," the man continued, "is Cale Vera, the very man who orchestrated the attack that nearly destroyed this city 10 years ago." The room tilted. The world blurred. My lungs forgot how to breathe. I staggered back, shaking my head. No, that's impossible." "Is it?" the man asked smoothly. "Why do you think you were hidden? Why do you think Adrian buried your identity? You're not just anyone. Lena, you're the bloodline of the man everyone here would kill on sight." Tears burned at the back of my eyes, but I blinked them away. Rage cut sharper than grief. "So I'm supposed to believe I'm..." "What? Some villain's spawn?" Adrian's voice was raw, pleading. "You're not him. You're not defined by his sins." But the other man smirked. "Tell yourself that blood doesn't lie. And sooner or later, she have to choose between the world she thinks she belongs to." His gaze flicked to Adrian, "or the father she's destined to face." The air was ice, my heart beat fire. I opened my mouth to speak, and the lights cut out. Darkness swallowed the room. Then a single sound shattered the silence. The click of a gun being cocked right behind my head. The gun at my back, the cold steel pressed into my skull. My body froze, but my mind screamed. "Don't move," a voice rasped. A woman's voice. Adrian lunged forward, but the man in black raised his hand. "Careful. She's not bluffing." The lights flickered back on, revealing her. Tall, sleek, dressed head to toe in tactical black. But it was her eyes that cut me open, amber, sharp and familiar. "Who are you?" My voice cracked. The barrel dug harder against me. "Sister." The floor dropped out from under me. "What?" She smirked. "Half-sister, technically. Father never told you, did he? Didn't tell you about me. Didn't tell you about the empire you were born into. You've been living like a ghost while I've been carrying his legacy." Adrian stepped between us, fury blazing. "Let her go." But she laughed. "Oh, Adrian. Always playing the guard dog. Don't you see? She's mine. Blood of my blood. And if she won't stand beside me, she'd burn with the rest of you." Her words were gasoline, and my chest was fire. I wasn't just Cale Vera's daughter. I wasn't an only child. I had a sister, and she was pointing a gun at me. The man in black's voice cut in, steel hard. "Enough drama. You've made your point. If she's truly his daughter, she has a choice to make: join us, or die with them." The gun lifted from my head, but only so my sister could step around. Eyes locked on mine. Her smile was razor sharp. "So, Lena, what's it gonna be? The world's most wanted criminal's heir? Or his executioner?" The room spun. My pulse thundered. And Adrian's desperate gaze begged me not to answer. But my lips parted anyway. And I whispered, "I choose. BANG." Smoke and silence. The gunshot cracked through the room like thunder. My ears rang, my knees buckled, then silence. For a split second, I thought I was the one hit. But when I opened my eyes, Adrian was on the ground, blood blooming across his shoulder. "Adrian!" I screamed, rushing to him. His face twisted in pain, but his hand shot up, gripping mine with a force that said, "Don't panic." My sister lowered the smoking gun, calm as ever. "Relax, it's non-lethal. I want him alive. For now." The man in black smirked. "Still merciful, I see." But I wasn't seeing mercy. I was seeing red. My sister's eyes burned with something. Unhinged ownership. Possession. Like I was her trophy. "You shot him," I snarled. My voice didn't even sound like mine anymore. "Correction," she said coolly. "I spared him. Because unlike you, I know how to control my emotions." She crouched, tilting her head at me. "We could be unstoppable, Lena. You and I, 2 daughters of Kale Vera, rewriting the world in fire and steel. But you keep letting attachments get in the way." Her gaze flicked to Adrian's crumpled body. "And that makes you weak." Her words coiled around me like venom. A choice. Her or him. Legacy or love. Blood or bond. Adrian groaned, pulling at my sleeve. His whisper barely cut through the static in my ears. "Don't choose her. Don't give her what she wants." I looked down at him, then back at her. My pulse was a war drum. My throat, a battlefield. She raised the gun again, this time aimed at his heart. "Tick-tock, little sister. Decide. Now." And just as my lips parted, the fire alarm shrieked. Sprinklers burst overhead, drenching everything in chaos. Smoke curled from the door as someone crashed through it, shouting, "Lena, move!" Ashes of truth. Water sprayed down in icy sheets, hissing against the fire, swallowing the doorframe. My sister cursed under her breath, shielding her gun from the downpour. Through the smoke, a figure emerged, broad-shouldered, hood pulled low. He moved fast, kicking the weapon from her hand with practiced precision. It clattered across the floor. She snarled, "Who the hell?" "Someone who's done letting you play God," the stranger barked. He turned and my chest seized. It was my father, Kale Vera. Alive, breathing, staring at me with eyes I thought I'd never see again. My world spun. You're dead." "Not quite," he said, voice rough with smoke and regret. "But I will be if you don't get out of here." Adrian groaned beside me, slipping in and out of consciousness. I pressed my hands against his wound, heart hammering. My sister's laughter cut through the chaos. "Oh, this is rich." The great Kale Vera, too much of a coward to reveal himself, too obsessed with the past to stay buried. She kicked the gun up into her palm, dripping wet but still deadly. "And now you want to play the hero?" My father's jaw hardened. "This isn't about me. It's about Lena. You've dragged her into something she never asked for." "She is what I asked for." My sister screamed, pointing the gun at me. "She's mine. My blood, my reflection. And I'll burn the world before I let you or anyone take her away." The fire crackled higher, smoke thickening. The sprinklers couldn't keep up. My lungs burned, my mind split in two one parts, screaming to grab Adrian and run. The other frozen by the sight of my father standing like a ghost made flesh. And then, she pulled the trigger. Bloodlines. The gunshot ripped through the air, louder than the fire, louder than my pounding heartbeat. For a moment, I couldn't tell who fell. Smoke swirled, embers rained down like fireflies. Then I saw it, my father staggering back, clutching his side, blood blooming through his shirt. "No!" The word tore from my throat, raw and desperate. I crawled toward him, dragging Adrian with me, torn between two lifelines slipping away in front of me. My sister tilted her head, gun steady, eyes shining with something feral. I told you, Lena, you can't save everyone. You'll have to choose. Her voice cracked, though rage woven with grief. She wanted me to choose her. She wanted me to become her. My father coughed, reaching for me, his hand trembling. Don't listen to her. You are not her shadow. You are more than either of us. His voice was barely above a whisper. Choose yourself. Adrian stirred beside me, groaning. Lena, don't let her win. His blood was warm against my hands, sticky and terrifying. The fire roared louder, beams creaking overhead. My world narrowed to 3 choices, 3 lives tangled in smoke and betrayal. Save my father, the ghost who returned. Save Adrian, the man who saw me beyond the lies. Or walk away. Let the fire consume the past and finally stand alone. My sister's finger tightened on the trigger again, eyes blazing with twisted devotion. So, Lena, who do you choose? The gun cocked, the ceiling cracked, my breath caught, and then everything collapsed. Ashes don't lie. The ceiling gave way with a deafening crack, flames swallowing the room in an orange hell. Smoke clawed at my lungs, blinding me, but instinct shoved me forward. I grabbed Adrian with one arm, my father with the other, dragging them through the wreckage. My sister's silhouette loomed in the fire, gun raised, screaming my name. Lena, don't you dare walk away from me. The world shook as another beam crashed. In the chaos, I heard the gunshot. A scream followed, but it wasn't mine. When the smoke cleared just enough, I saw her, my sister, lying on the floor, gun slipping from her hand. Blood dark against her pale skin. Her eyes burned into mine, wide, not with hate, but with something else. Betrayal. You chose them. Over me? She rasped. Her voice was weak, trembling like a child's. I staggered, my chest tightening. No, I didn't choose them. I chose me. I'm done being your shadow. Her lips twisted into a broken smile. Then, I guess we're the same after all. Her eyes fluttered shut as the flames ate the last of the ceiling above her. I wanted to scream, but Adrian groaned in my arms, dragging me back to reality. My father's weight pulled at me, but his voice cut through the chaos. Hoarse but firm. Go. Save him. Don't make my mistake. I froze. His mistake? But there was no time. The fire devoured everything, and with one final glance, I pulled Adrian into the night air, collapsing as sirens wailed in the distance. Hours later, under the sterile light of the hospital, I sat by Adrian's bed. He lived. My father didn't. My sister, gone, though her ghost lingered heavier than the smoke in my lungs. That's when the detective walked in, eyes sharp, folder in hand. Miss Hayes, there's something you need to see. He slid a file across the table. My heart stopped when I saw the name. Not mine, not my sister's. The Adrians. Aliases, false passports. A trail of lies buried deeper than mine ever were. I looked at him, peaceful in sleep, his hand resting inches from mine. And for the first time, I realized I wasn't the only one living a lie. The wedding photos were still up on Adrian's mantelpiece. Only, it wasn't mine in the frame. Her smile, my sister's smile, mocked me from behind the glass. Adrian's arm was around her waist, his head tipped toward hers. Like every promise he made me was just rehearsal for the real show. The world tilted, but I didn't scream. I just laughed. Soft, broken, almost relieved. Because sometimes betrayal doesn't shatter you. It remakes you. I closed the photo album, slipped on my heels, and walked out the door. Not as the woman who lost a fiancé, but as the woman who finally understood the game and was ready to play it better. And that's another episode from Blessing's Storyverse. If this story hit you in the feels, leave a like. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe because trust me, the next plot twist is even crazier. Until next time, keep living like the main character. Bye.